Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Today I would brief about direct binding, business rule engine, exception handling and call orchestration and start orchestration. I would build a simple orchestration process that would touch base these topics. I have already created a simple BizTalk project called BizTalk and here is our source schema, and we would do a transformation to outbound format schema. I have even completed the mapping from source to destination. Here I have done a simple one-to-one mapping. And I have used a scripting functoid to concatenate the document name and file type from the source to the destination document name. Let me add one more element on the product node called description, and we would map the description from the source to the description on the destination. Let me add a folder called snippet. Here I would add a new orchestration process. I would configure a logical receive port to receive the message. And I would bring in a receive shape, and on the orchestration view I would create a message and configure the source message that we are going to receive inside the orchestration. I would choose the order request message as the message in, and similarly I would choose outbound format schema as out message. I would make the first receive shape activate property to 2. I would assign the message in, which is to be received on the orchestration process, and I will map the logical receive port and the receive shape. I would reconfigure the logical receive port, and instead of setting the binding type as specify later, I would choose it as direct, and I will choose the option as routing between ports will be defined by the filter condition on the incoming. So on the receive shape, I would edit the filter property. I would use pts dot receive port name as my filter condition. As of now, I am just specifying a dummy value. So we would receive the message inside orchestration based on the receive port name. So in order to handle exception, we can use scope shape. I will bring in a scope shape from toolbox and set the transaction type as none. Then right click on the scope shape and add a new exception handler where I would be setting the exception object and exception type. I choose .NET exception. Then I will choose system.exception. So once we receive the message, we would execute a rule to update our product name based on a BRE. Or bring in a call rule shape, and already we have two rules. Let me create a new rule to do the product name update. Let me open up the business rule composer. I would add a new rule. And on the version, I would create a new rule. So on the Fact Explorer, I will browse and choose the schema that we have to pass it into our policy. I will form a condition. I will drag and drop the product name in the argument 1, and in the argument 2, I will equate against title, and if it is title, I will set the description as this is a title product. Similarly, I will create one more rule, and on the condition I will use the predicate equals to and equate it against escrow. And on the action, I will drag and drop the description and provide the appropriate description. We can even specify priorities for the rules that needs to be executed. Let me publish the rule and deploy it. Going back to the Visual Studio, I will reconfigure the rule shape with the BizTalk name rule, and I will pass the message in. Let me create a call orchestration to do the transformation. I would add a new item and I'll choose orchestration. I'll call the process as transform process. So in order to use orchestration as a call orchestration or start orchestration, I have to create orchestration parameters. I will create new message parameters. One will be order request message. Other will be outbound format message. I will choose the direction on both the messages. Order request will be in, and the direction type of outbound format message will be out. So on the transform process, I will bring in a transformation shape, and I will choose the existing map. I will put a event log saying transformation completed. System.diagnostics.event log dot write entry. So on the main process, I will try to invoke the orchestration using call orchestration script. So transform process is the orchestration we are trying to call. I will configure the transform process as we have created the message type variables in the main process. It got auto mapped. So using call orchestration, we will call the child orchestration which will do the transformation. Then on completion, the main orchestration will get the control back, and we would try to send the message to the destination folder. I will configure a one-way logical send port and specify the message type on the send shape and map the send shape and logical send port. On the catch block, in case of any exception, we will log the error message in event log. And in case of exception, we will try to archive the original message that we received on the receive shape. So using start orchestration, we will try to archive the original message. I would create a new orchestration process. I will name it as on error archive process, and here we will have a simple, here we will have an expression shape to log it to event log. Using send shape, I will archive the message. I will configure a one-way logical send port. And on the orchestration parameter, I would add a new message parameter and configure the message type as order request. I'll map the send and logical send port. Going back to the main process, on exception, we will log the error message in event log. Then we will archive the message using start orchestration process. I'll configure the start orchestration shape. Let us now try to build the solution. Build succeeded. Let us build and deploy the solution and configure the orchestration and process few messages and see the output. Build succeeded. Let me open the admin console. And as you can see, our three orchestration process are deployed, and we have to configure the physical receive and send ports. Let me try to configure the orchestration. I would create a new port. This port will be used for archiving the message. And I will configure the transform process, and finally on the basic concepts process I will configure the host and then get the destination system port. Let us create a one-way static receive port. We will name it as A and we will configure a receive location where our BizTalk process will be polling the messages that are received on this directory. I'll name it as source. So we will keep the receive pipeline as XML receive and the port name will be A. This is because we are subscribing to our message based on a filter condition where our port name is set to A. Let us start the ports and then the orchestration. I would restart the host instance and rule engine service. and clear the event logs so that we can monitor the event logs in case of any exception. I would create the required folders for the out directory. Now let us start the receive location and we will process an order request message. Here is our sample order request message. Now let me place this sample file in source directory. Message got picked up. From the tracked instance we can see whether the message got processed successfully, and here you can see message got picked up and processed successfully. And you can switch into a called orchestration by right clicking on the step and then choosing view called orchestration. Now let us go to the out directory and look for our transformed message. And here you can see BRE updated information is also available on the transformed message, as we are doing a mapping from product description on the source to the product description on the destination. Now let me undeploy this rule that we are invoking from our orchestration process and process the message again. I have restart the rule engine service as we have undeployed the rule just to reflect the updated set of rules that are deployed. Let me process the message again, and this time, as the rule was not deployed, an exception occurred and message was archived to the archive directory. So now you can see a separate thread for start orchestration, whereas before for a call orchestration we did not see a separate thread. Now let us view the orchestration debugger of main process, and as you can see, as our rule was not deployed, it went into the catch block, and from the catch block start orchestration was invoked and message was archived. So here is our start orchestration process flow. Now let us go to the archive directory, and you can see message was archived successfully. Let me change the port name and process the message again. I would restart the rule engine service as I redeployed the policy we are invoking in the orchestration process. I would reprocess the file again, and message got picked up. And let us go to the group hub query, and you can see there are two suspended instances of the message, and if you see the error information, published message could not be routed because no subscribers were found. This is because we have changed the receive port name, and our orchestration process is subscribing to the messages that are received on port name A. Let me terminate the suspended instances and revert my port name to A and then reprocess the message. I would restart the host instance again, and I have processed a message, and let us monitor the group hub, and process got completed successfully, and in our destination we would have received the transformed message. Today we have seen how to build a simple process by using direct binding, and how to use call orchestration and start orchestration, and how to handle exceptions inside a orchestration process. Thanks for watching the video.